Fox 54 Weekend Review. I'm Kenesha Dees. It's the only place in North Alabama to get the week's local headlines condensed into one program. Here's a taste of what's ahead. Starting off, a new arrest in the case of Ronald Dumas Jr., missing since mid-December. We'll also hear from a family friend about his impact on her life. Also, homelessness on the rise in Huntsville. We talk with two organizations to see what they are doing to help. And a dark bridge about to get new lights. Find out what's happening to the US 31 Causeway in Decatur. It's also impacting traffic. Our top story this week, 5 EF1 tornadoes swept across North Alabama, causing damage across multiple counties. We'll take a look at how one hard-hit area responded. Also, a Moulton textile business talked to our Ken McCoy about how they could be affected by the tariffs.
It's been a rough weekend here in the Tennessee Valley. Severe weather tore through the region, bringing gusty winds, heavy rainfall, and dangerous flooding. In some areas like the Shoals, fallen trees trapped people, requiring rescues overnight, and the National Weather Service tonight confirming multiple tornadoes touched down in northwest Alabama. It's where we start tonight. I'm Ken McCoy. In the northwest portion of the state, causing intermittent destruction from UNA to the Muscle Shoals, as 3 EF1 tornadoes ravaged portions of Colbert and Lauderdale County. In particular, one mobile home park had the worst. Heavy rain and wind pulled down trees, causing them to fall right through the buildings like a knife. Fox 54's Caleb Aguayo takes us out to the Shoals to see the destruction in the wake of the storms.
All we seen was just rain and wind and a bunch of gusty winds coming toward us, and I had to turn off behind the bank and we hid back there while it come through.
A potential tornado and heavy winds battered a Muscle Shoals mobile home park just last night. It sent trees and limbs falling down onto homes and cars, destroying everything underneath. After hiding the best they could, the damage forced residents like Shelby Hamlet's family to flee their homes in the middle of the chaos.
He threw us in the floor against the couch, held the mattress over us, and we heard trees crashing through our house. And me and my kids, we were just crying and screaming. Finally, we got up when we thought we could at least get out. We were trapped inside. Front door and back door were completely blocked. We had to kick out my daughter's window and climb out that way while trees were still coming down.
The Colbert County EMA says damage is the worst at Pounders Mobile Home Park in Muscle Shoals. Upwards of 15 trees fell on houses, crushed cars, and upended entire decks. One couple tells me a toddler was trapped under one of these trees last night before she was rescued by the fire department.
She scared everybody for a minute because she was talking while that tree was on top of her, and then she had just stopped talking. And so everybody thought that it was too late, but the fire department kept fighting and kept trying to get that tree out of there to be able to get her out. And by the grace of God, they got her out of there.
And according to EMA Director Jody Hitt, the fire department was able to get everyone out with just a few minor injuries and no deaths.
They already got everybody rescued and the trapeze out and to the hospital. I was told that there was 5 injuries. Everybody's well and doing good today. Scrapes, bruises, and contusions and stuff like that.
Park residents spent the day cutting up trees, stacking limbs, and salvaging what they could. But until they have somewhere else to stay, those affected have ultimately lost their homes. In Muscle Shoals, I'm Caleb Aguayo, Fox 54 News.
Across the nation, the impacts of President Donald Trump's extreme trade policies and tariffs are felt in industries from agriculture to manufacturing. But here locally, one textile company says there may be an upside. As of 2025, the textile industry in Alabama is projected to reach nearly $2 billion in revenue over a 5-year period, reflecting a positive growth trend. Our Ken McCoy has more on why Redland Cotton over in Moulton isn't panicking just yet.
Tucked away in Moulton, Alabama, there's a company that's keeping the tradition of American-made textiles alive.
The cotton business has been in Alabama for 200 years. It's a proven crop that does well in North Alabama. The price on it has gotten incredibly low and it's very competitive, and other countries are growing it. Sometimes you feel like in this business maybe the world doesn't need U.S. cotton. I hope not.
Redland Cotton, known for its high-quality bed linens, has seen its business grow thanks to an increasing demand for U.S.-made goods. But with that growth comes a lot of questions about what comes next. As tariffs on imported goods rise, companies like Redland Cotton find themselves at a crossroads, benefiting from more customers eager to support local manufacturing, but also navigating the uncertainty that comes with an ever-changing trade environment.
The tariffs in themselves won't bother us at all because we're in the United States. One thing tariffs might do for us is that the companies that are here may be more competitive now with the tariff on imports coming in, and the supply chain that we use. The mills could maybe modernize, and you'd have more choices of meals and of the kind of things they're able to do, which in the United States, our textile industry is just about gone.
Despite the uncertainty, Mark Yeager, co-owner with Redland Cotton, remains hopeful for the future of American manufacturing. With the commitment to quality and local jobs, they believe the future is bright.
I've always believed in Made in America. I believe that that's a good thing. I know we can't make everything in the world, but our own country needs to have jobs and the capability to do that. I think it's very important. I think people need a job. I mean, these obviously are not the highest paying jobs in the world, but they're pretty good jobs.
As the textile industry navigates this new chapter, Yeager says the push for local manufacturing is stronger than ever.
We have developed this business, and our sheets are probably a little more expensive than the average. But they're hand sewn, they're handmade, and everybody knows the cottons are grown here. So it's, I feel like we have a good little niche.
The impact of tariffs continue to unfold, and for every company seeing growth, there are others anxiously awaiting what comes next. In Moulton, Ken McCoy, Fox 54 News.
Redland Cotton began its journey in the textile business in 2015, 10 years, specializing in handmade products, from bed sheets to apparel. A major breakthrough in the search for Ronald Dumas Jr. Two people law enforcement have been trying to find since February, now behind bars and charged in connection with his disappearance, according to Huntsville police. The Huntsville realtor has been missing since December, and as the investigation unfolds, police say they are looking for others believed to be involved. Quintarius White and Kiara Clark were arrested yesterday and are to be 2 of 5 people linked to Dumas' disappearance. White was arrested for first-degree kidnapping and Clark for conspiracy to commit kidnapping. Records show that they were booked into the Shelby County Jail in Tennessee and are currently held without bond. Again, they are among 5 suspects named in the case. Teray McLaurin from Memphis is wanted for first-degree kidnapping. So is Sabrina Chambers of Huntsville. Carissa Cash from Memphis is also wanted for first-degree receiving stolen property. Huntsville police ask that anyone who recognizes or encounters them report their whereabouts immediately to local law enforcement. We've also learned the Memphis Police Department arrested 3 others for harboring White and Clark. Fox 54's Caleb Aguayo spoke with the law enforcement agencies involved in the case, and he has the very latest information.
News spread quickly Wednesday morning of the 5 arrests tied to the disappearance of Ronald Dumas Jr. Quintarius White and Kiara Clark were wanted for multiple charges: kidnapping, burglary, and robbery, among others. They're set to appear before a judge in Shelby County, Tennessee on April 17th, but the department arrested 3 more people for harboring the 2 suspects in Memphis. They are Cassie Feathers, Dedrick Woodard, and Jasmine Braden. Law enforcement agencies are still looking for the other 3 people allegedly involved in what they call Dumas' abduction.
I've reached out to the law enforcement agencies overseeing the investigation, the Huntsville and Memphis police departments, as well as the U.S. Marshals Western Tennessee District. And one thing is clear: because they're still looking for the other 3 wanted individuals, they don't want to compromise the investigation by sharing too much with the public. But they did say they're working night and day to find Dumas, who was last seen at Mid-City Liquor on December 15th.
Huntsville Police Sergeant Chris Jackson shared the following statement. Police ask that anyone who recognizes or encounters these individuals to report their whereabouts immediately to local law enforcement. This remains an active investigation, and additional charges may follow as more information emerges. And the other involved law enforcement agencies weighed in on the progress that's been made. U.S. Marshal Tyrese Miller told Fox 54, the U.S. Marshal Service commends the solid investigative work of the Huntsville Police Department on this case. We were pleased to assist and stand ready to act on any further information. The Memphis Police Department's Deputy Chief, T.D. Jackson, says it was a group effort. The Memphis Police Department, U.S. Marshals Two Rivers Task Force, and Shelby County Fugitive Team worked together with determination and precision to bring Quintarius White and Kiara Clark into custody, showing our collective commitment to tackling violent crime. The Huntsville Police Department is spearheading the search for Dumas, and they're asking the public to call these numbers on your screen if you have any tips to report. In Huntsville, I'm Caleb Aguayo, Fox 54 News.
The past few months have been incredibly heartbreaking for the Dumas family. While authorities have made their first arrest, it's a moment that brings a mix of emotions for them. Despite numerous attempts to find him, his whereabouts are still unknown, leaving family and friends grappling with grief and uncertainty. Deidre Willis, a family friend, shares that the recent arrest linked to the case has provided the family with a small sense of hope, though many are still cautiously optimistic. She also shares how Dumas has impacted her life.
Because we did get to a point where it just kind of felt like we were at a standstill. It was a point where we had to come to the realization that we may never have found out what happened or where he is or, what's going on. And so getting to a point like that is devastating. It is devastating. It is earth-shattering. And so to now be here where they've been arrested, and they're in a position where, they can be questioned and things like that, it makes you do like this. Okay. Because it's hard. Like, you feel like you're suffocating. He is someone we all strive to be. He is someone who is consistently there for everyone, and not just there for you. He is going to be such a presence in your life that actually helps move you to positions that you want to find. He's like, oh, you want to do this? Perfect. Let me tell you how to get there. He used to tell me all the time, choose happy. Choose happy. And, I was going through a really hard time, and he choose happy. And always give you another perspective, another way to see things, and to keep from being stuck in misery, to being stuck in embarrassment or shame or sadness, depression, whatever it is.
First Stop in Huntsville has seen 600 new clients so far this year. And although the city of Huntsville has announced plans to build a new temporary homeless shelter, nonprofits are feeling the strain. The spike has stretched nonprofits' resources thin while they look for ways to keep providing their services. They say it's critical because as Huntsville keeps growing, so does the unhoused population. Fox 54's Caleb Aguayo takes us downtown to see the growth of services for the homeless.
Several nonprofits in Huntsville are seeing a spike, setting records nearly every month in demand for their services. They're the places people turn to when in need of shelter, food, transportation services, clothing, rehabilitation programs, monetary assistance, and help looking for a job. But many say while those programs are important, they just don't meet the steadily growing demand of a booming city.
In addition to the other services in the area, the city is also building a shelter right next to the existing homeless camp on Derrick Street. It'll have about 70 spaces to help people transition into some kind of housing. The executive director of First Stop, Chad Rodriguez, says measures like this are critical for the growing unhoused population in Huntsville.
Huntsville's growing, and that's a good thing, but costs are increasing, rental costs are increasing, so access to affordable housing is one of the largest barriers that we're seeing to being housed right now. Stagnant wages, as well as increasing cost of goods, groceries, utilities, things like that. Then there are some systemic inequalities that contribute to it as well, and then there's just the bad luck.
Rising costs for consumers can have an even greater impact on nonprofits and their volunteers. Rodriguez says a few years ago, 60 people coming to First Stop was a big day. Now they serve up to 150 people for every meal and see averages of about 6 new people per day. In all, they can see up to 350 people coming in on any given day. And Justin Brooks with the Downtown Rescue Mission repeats a similar sentiment. They have to keep providing the services, but resources are often sparing.
We've been operating at capacity almost every night. And so we finally decided, hey, it's time. We've got to make some changes. We're trying to double the capacity of our Owens House facility as well as our men's emergency services, which we hope will then also open up some space for us to utilize for our men's recovery program as well. So all in all, we are really trying to double the capacity of every program and resource that we have.
In addition to building another shelter on Derrick Street, the city also appropriated at least $15 million to local nonprofits this fiscal year. Of that, $170,000 went to First Stop, meeting 18% of their funding needs. If you want to help, see what donation and volunteering opportunities are available online. In Huntsville, I'm Caleb Aguayo, Fox 54 News.
In addition to city funding, First Stop receiving $115,000 from the Federal Community Development Block Grant from the Department of Housing and Urban Development. For a more in-depth look at homelessness in Huntsville, check out the extended cuts of our interviews on Fox 54 Plus. Download on your TV, watch for free.
Thousands of drivers use the US 31 causeway each day to travel in and out of Decatur, but that drive is a lot different and darker at night and in the rain. The bridge located here currently has no lights on, but that $1 million project will change that very soon. Decatur Mayor Tab Bowling explains how those lights went out in the first place.
We're thrilled about having lighting on the causeway and the bridge. It's going to look real nice. We have lights on the causeway and the bridge, and they've been out for quite some time.
The Steamboat Bill Memorial Bridge is one of the most popular roads for travelers in the area. The drive has been a lot darker at night and in the rain for the last several years. The light fixtures currently up don't work due to rodents damaging the wiring.
Rodents like to chew on copper to keep their teeth short. You just don't have connectivity.
Decatur Mayor Tab Bowling says the city will be working with a pest control company who will clear the area once a month to make sure wires don't get eaten up again. This creates a clear vision for new lights to be installed on the road.
It's important to have the light there. Can't wait to do it. There'll be LED fixtures. LED lighting lasts much longer.
The lights used to be made from high-pressure sodium. LEDs will bring more efficiency, color, and last a lot longer than previous fixtures.
LED gives true color, so I'm able to tell that you have a blue jacket on. With high-pressure sodium, you do not get that true color. It just puts out a form of light, but it interferes with the true colors.
The Alabama Department of Transportation says electric crews will be on site starting work on Monday. Shoals Electric will close down the outside northbound lane from 8:30 to 4:30 daily Monday through Thursday, and drivers, you can expect delays.
And if you've ever wondered what it's like to be a reality TV star, I hung out with Farmer Wants a Wife Jay Woods in Florence to see what the Bachelor farmer had to say at a birthday watch party.
When you know, you know. When you feel that connection to that spark, you're going to know it.
Fox Television's Farmer Wants a Wife star and Florence native Jay Woods is celebrating his 26th birthday. And to celebrate the big day, he is hosting a Farmer Wants a Wife watch party for his friends in Florence at Holland's Bar and Grill. Among them, you can see right there is our very own Kenesha Dees. Jay, happy 26th birthday. Kenesha, I heard that some big stars are set to pop up in tonight's new episode, but it's not the only ones Jay has met lately.
That's right, Gabe. First off, happy birthday, Jay.
Thank you, thank you.
Congratulations on all your accomplishments. I mean, since our last chat, Jay, you've seen a lot of famous faces, including some at the iHeartRadio Music Awards show.
Yes. I got to travel to the iHeartRadio Music Awards show, and I got to see a lot of familiar faces. You know, Doechii, Big X the Plug, Nelly. I mean, the list go on and on. So.
Yeah, that must have been very exciting for you. This was in Hollywood, right?
Oh, yeah. This is my first time being from Florence, Alabama, and going to L.A. and meeting all these famous people your first time. You can't draw it up any better than that.
That's awesome. And then another thing too, Jay, we're well into the show. You got to know the ladies got to know you. My question to you is, can they tell a difference between Farmer Jay and Cowboy Jay? Is there a difference?
Farmer Jay and Cowboy Jay. I think it's a little difference, and I think they'll be able to tell. I don't know if y'all are able to tell so far through the episodes, but as we get further into it, I think they'll be able to tell for sure. So
good answer. Good answer. My next question for you is, there is a guest star appearance tonight on the show.
So we got Brad Paisley coming out on the show, and he gave a lot of good advice because him and his wife Kimberly, they had a similar situation, city girl, country boy, love story. So he got us a lot of good advice. So
that's good. Well, we're definitely looking forward to that. There's another thing that's happening tonight. You're going to have to make a tough decision.
Through this process, I knew that the toughest part about it was going to have to send somebody home. And fortunately, tonight will be the first night I have to do that. So.
Yeah, well, some tough decisions. Definitely wishing you the best on your love journey. And again, you can watch Farmer Wants a Wife tonight on Fox 54. It will come on at 8. Be sure to check it out and continue to follow Florence's very own Jay Woods' journey. We just wrapped up Farmer Wants a Wife a few minutes ago, but it doesn't end there. We got to catch up with one of the bachelors, Florence's own Jay Woods, ahead of his birthday and his watch party tonight. Here's a listen to his reality show experience.
The reality show experience was definitely a roller coaster. It was a lot of unexpected things that happened, but at the end of the day, it's a blessing and opportunity that I'm grateful for. I think my favorite part of the show was just being able to date 8 women at one time. I mean, I think this is the only time you're able to get away with that. In real life, it'll be a problem, but you know, my least favorite part was definitely sending people home, just because all the ladies were great, you know, fabulous ladies, and sending them home and having to break up that friendship they had in the house was never fun. I think one of the biggest things that you might not see just from the outside looking in is how much time the people behind the scenes, you know, the camera guys, audio guys, they put into, and those bonds you form with them as well. I know on my farm, I had a lot of great people on there, and I really appreciate them. Built some lifelong bonds with them, so it's a great opportunity just to network and build connections that way.
Great opportunity. Well, you can catch more of Jay Woods on Farmer Wants a Wife Thursdays at 8 p.m. right before our Fox 54 newscast. Yeah, it was good to catch up with Jay from Farmer Wants a Wife, and you can always catch the show on Thursdays at 8 p.m. right before our 9 p.m. newscast. And count on Fox 54 Plus to bring you great programming, more great programming with in-depth local specials, Locked on Sports, true crime, cooking shows, wellness experts, and continuing weather coverage. For everyone at Fox 54 News, I'm Kenesha Dees. Have a good and safe weekend.